Karen Whiting, and welcome to my kitchen. Today I want to talk about a healthy snack your children can enjoy making that will keep them busy so you can do a few tasks, because I know it's a little hard having children home when you didn't expect them and you can't go out and they can't play with other people, but we can do something fun, and all you need is a banana and some milk product, whatever type you use, as well as lots of crumbs made from different things in the pantry. And we get to have fun with food. My family beatitude in the joy of shared meals of that particular week is, happy is the family who eats together, for they will be nurtured. And from Ecclesiastes 9:7 we read, go and enjoy your food. Be joyful as you drink your wine. God has already approved what you do. And I love to think about that because I really like to think how food can be a fun time. It's a great time to get together, or in this case, it might be a great time for your child to be able to do things by him or herself, or as a little group if you, like me, have multiple children, and then you get to do a few simple tasks, even if it's just watching a Facebook Live, putting over the laundry, whatever it is, it gives you a few moments, a little bit of a pause. So the first thing I start with, of course, is a banana and a plastic knife for the little ones. The bigger ones might use a regular stainless steel or whatever your knives are. And because it's so easy to cut a soft banana with a plastic knife, children can do that themselves, and it doesn't matter if they cut them really skinny or really fat. They'll have fun with it no matter what size it is. But you see, that makes these little round shapes, and so that's why we call them banana rounds. The next thing is, one piece at a time, a child can take that piece of banana, first dip it in milk, so I have that in a little dish, and if it falls off like that, it did for me and it will for a child, they just have to learn to scoop it up, and then they can dip it in whatever they want. So in case your child can have nuts, I have crushed nuts. These are almonds, and they dip it in there, and look how great that is. And then they can put these on their plate and eat them one at a time. And this particular plate, I don't know if you can see, it's got a rocket on it. These are Bunnykin dishes, and I started Bunnykin because my in-laws had gotten a set of Bunnykins dishes for their children when they were born. It was first made for Prince Charles in England. And we added to that, the one with the rocket is interesting. My older sons really loved using this plate, and they became rocket scientists. You never know what will happen. And the girls, and all of them actually, enjoyed anything that had water on it, because that made them think about how their daddy served in the Coast Guard. That just makes it part of fun, because when we share food with our family, we should share our heritage. We should be rich in what we're discussing and use everything as part of our conversation. So even as you're setting it up and they're going to go do it on their own, it's fine to also add beauty to it, to add conversation with it, anything you can do. Now, when you have multiple children, you might want to keep each fork for one type of topping. And as I said, these are nuts that I crunched up. So you can use your almonds. You can use a granola bar that you crunch up. That's what I have in here, is a granola bar. And all I do is I take my Braun, or you might have some other handy multi-purpose tool that also includes a grinder to grind things up. And this one is cereal that I have ground up. So you can take leftover when the cereal's getting to the end, you don't know what to do with it. You can even mix types. You can mix up crackers, graham crackers, anything like that. You can grind up some pretzels and use those. And I also have coconut here, because my family likes coconut. So I tend to take a fork that goes with each thing, and again, just dip it in the milk. Pretty simple. Dip it in that coconut so I get it all coated, and I'll put that on my plate. I might use another fork to help pull it off of the fork that I'm using for the dipping. But explaining to children why we have a different fork for each thing we dip into is also helping to talk about viruses and germs and how we want to keep them safe, and we don't want to share our germs. It's interesting with my children, when they were born, and I knew I wanted a big family, I decided to give them each their own color. So Rebecca had red, and she had red plate, red cup, red towel, red toothbrush, red washcloth, all of that. Michael came along and I gave him blue, and James got green, and Darlene got yellow, and Daniel later on, when he came, because he was a little bit younger than the rest, had orange assigned to him. Well, they only used their own towel. They would never use the other one's towel. Only their own toothbrush, their own plates. And so they didn't share germs. And I found that when one got sick with the flu or virus, it did not go through our whole family. Just because that simple tool kept them, that simple little idea I had when they were young to keep me sane. So I would know who left their towel on the floor. Anything else ended up being a very healthy choice that I made. So consider that, and use this also as a time to share with them that this is for our cereal. You know, this one is for the granola bar. However you want to put that, so that they know there's a little system to it. They can have fun, and as I say, once they have their plate with however many pieces of banana they want, or they want to start with, then they get to just pick that up and enjoy it. I love coconut and banana together. I don't know what your favorite combination is, or what your children's favorite will be. And that's part of the fun too, is you can talk about what tastes do you have? What do you like best? Because we all have different tastes. We like different things. Banana happens to be the #1 choice of fruit for children. And so that's a great one to use with it. It has lots of potassium in it for our legs and things. And when we lived in Governor's Island off the tip of Manhattan, so sorry for New York people, I am praying for you during this virus while you're facing more of it than some of the other states right now. At that time, we lived in a unit that was over the furnace for the entire unit we were in. And it was so hot that we were one of the 4 places on that island of several hundred families allowed to use the air conditioning in the winter. But the other thing I found I had to do was make sure Rebecca had bananas every day. And then when Darlene was born, that she had lots of bananas, because that extra heat drained their potassium level. So and that's another good thing when you're talking to your child and you're giving them bananas or things, is to talk about the nutrition and how it helps you, and what's important about grains, nuts, any of these types of things that we're having. So I use it both for teaching, but also, gosh, once I had that set up, they could spend an hour there sitting and dipping and eating, just enjoying and talking with one another as to what they were eating. And that just made it so much fun. But boy, did I get a lot of little things done, sometimes a big thing done, while they enjoyed this type of snack. And I would suggest you do that too. Now, there are a lot of things you can do, and I like these hands-on activities where I can share a little bit about spiritual faith with them. So with this type of thing, I would also say there is a time for everything. There is a time for everything that is done on earth, from Ecclesiastes 3:1, where I talk about there's a time that we're all huddled in our homes, and it may seem very bad because we can't be with friends and there's a virus going around the world, but let's look for the blessing within it. We are together as a family. It's a great time for bonding, for doing things together, sharing, and creating other memories that you will look back and say, remember the pandemic? Remember what we did during that time? My children tend to look back and say, remember the hurricane, what we did during that time and what happened afterwards. We all have those times in our family that are bonding times that last forever because of the types of memories that, and because there might have been some fear or anxiety during that time, you tend to remember that you got through it. You tend to remember that God was with you and that you hung together as a family, and it keeps you together more. So, as I said, with each one of my family weekly devotions, I also have hands-on activities, and week 22, which is the one I've been reading scriptures from, also includes make simple breadsticks, and it gives you a very quick recipe for it, and where you can pull off the dough once you've made it, and your children can form it into shapes. Mine, some of the girls like to do heart shapes, the boys did anchors and other types of shapes, whatever. It's really fun, but they can take their time and do that. And then you can bake it up and they have the snack after it's cooked. So another type of snack that they can work on, they can make, because they always will eat better when they make something and they help in the kitchen, I find. But they also will take some time with it, and it gives you a little break, as I said. Or you can join them with it some of the times that they do it, and just have that relaxing time that you're sitting together with your children and having fun with them. So as you go about your day, think about these types of things you can do. My website is KarenWhiting.com, and I just hope you enjoy the blessings of what we have during this difficult time for us, and that you will pray during that time for this to end, and I'm sure you will, as well as help out those that we can. And remember that afterwards, when we have our Let's Hug Again celebrations, we can go out and help our merchants get back on their feet. So thank you, and God bless. And I am trying to